Welcome everyone back to Orange Hat Reviews. Tonight we are going over Disney and its many evils. Hopefully I'll have a couple other people join, but right now I kind of want to do a little bit of a vent on what Disney has done. So we're going to go over how Disney has gone full Weyland-Yutani, as I said in the title of the stream. And one of the things, or basically it's how they're getting rid of the Fox logo. We're going to start with that, and then I'm going to move on to other things that Disney has done in the past. But yeah, let's get into it. One thing I have noticed with the whole Fox rebranding thing is, hi Genesis, if you want to join in with the whole Disney thing, come on in if you want. But yeah, I'm gonna start discussing the Fox rebranding after I pull it up on my phone. There we go. And okay, folks, here we go. Basically, Disney executives have... Alright. Well, thanks for stopping by, Genesis. Just make sure you leave a like, please. Disney executives have cut the word Fox from their 20th century film studio in an apparent bid to distance themselves from operations of the previous owner, Rupert Murdoch. So they're getting rid of something as historic and iconic simply because of political alignment. U.S. media suggests Disney does not want to be associated with the media mogul's highly partisan right-wing Fox News network. To BBC, if this video ever does reach them, thanks, Genesis. If BBC gets a hold of this, I'm going to ask you, do you label CNN, CBS, and ABC as left-wing, highly partisan? I mean, Odin's movie blog makes a point. Do you? Because I saw his video about this whole thing too. But yeah, I'm reading from the same article he is. And I think he has a good point, because you guys seem to be very freaking biased. I'm sick and tired of bias in the media. And anybody in the media, let's face it, folks, it is bias. We are going to touch on to some political stuff here. So, I'm sorry. I know I usually don't do political stuff, but it does happen few and far between. But yeah, however, Disney's not clarified its reasons. It bought the studio with other media operations in a $71 billion deal last March. 20th Century Fox is known for producing some of the biggest films of all time, including Avatar, Titanic, Star Wars. They should have put in this damn article. I mean, who remembers the fanfare and the drum rolling and trumpeting of the 20th Century Fox? I mean, yeah, folks, who remembers? Because here's the thing, I do. I remember it clear as day. And it was one of the best, it was one of the ways that you knew you were watching a great movie. Anyway, let's continue. Our Variety magazine, which broke the news about the name change, said it had spoken to an unnamed Disney source who said, "I think the Fox name means Murdoch, and that is toxic." Oh, why? Because Rupert Murdoch is right-leaning? I mean, anyway, Hollywood is known for being liberal, unlike the Australian tycoon. Well, here's the thing. What's wrong with the difference of opinion? What's wrong with the difference of opinion? If you guys can't explain or answer that with a satisfactory answer, well then, really? You got nothing. Disney also renamed Fox, or has also renamed Fox Searchlight Pictures, the art house arm, as simply Searchlight Pictures. So it's no longer Fox Searchlight Pictures, but Searchlight Pictures. Staff emails were changed on Friday from Fox.com to 20thCenturyStudios.com or Searchlight.com. The original 20th Century Fox company was formed in 1935 following a merger. Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation bought it in the mid-'80s, and the Fox News Channel was created in 96, growing to become the most watched in the United States. News Corporations was later split in the News Corp and 21st Century Fox, which Disney acquired as a parent company of various film and television studios, including the renowned 20th Century Fox. The Murdoch family retained the news outlets in a spin-off company, Fox Corporation, which is run by Murdoch's son, Lachlan. Variety says 20th Century Fox Studios' well-known fanfare theme and Searchlight logo will be retained. Disney also runs 20th Century Fox Television and Fox 21 television studios, and changes to their names have not yet been announced. Disney is already a dominant force in U.S. news and whatnot. As the owner of the ABC network, it also is hoping to challenge Netflix with its own streaming service, Disney Plus, which launched in the U.S. last year, which hopefully our brethren across the pond will also be getting it soon, because they were completely left out of the loop, and a lot of them have actually complained outright. But yeah, that's the whole article. Here's the thing, folks. They're getting rid of it simply because politics. We all know that Disney, Bob, all the way up to the damn top man himself, Bob Iger, is a left-leaning person. Now, do I have problems with less left-leaning people? Absolutely not. You're allowed to have your political leanings. I'm not going to dispute that. What I am going to say is keep politics out of entertainment. Stop putting politics in entertainment, because that's what ruins entertainment. You're simply allowing, because by putting politics in entertainment, you are telling the viewers, if you think like us, you are okay. You are awesome. We are doing this for just those who think our way, not those who think otherwise, because the people who think differently from our political views, they're automatically guilty of wrongthink. But that's not the only thing that Disney has done, folks. Oh, no. Disney has been involved in pedophile rings. Yeah. Ask Ricky Garcia. He was sexually molested by a woman who worked for the talent division or talent relations division of Disney. The kid was a minor at the time. And instead of firing this woman and alerting the authorities, because, oh no, you got to avoid scandal and whatnot, instead of doing the right thing and having this woman put away, they switch her to a different department and pretend like it never happened. But what about that kid who was psychologically scarred because he was subjected to sexual treatment before his mind was mature enough to deal with it? What about him? But nope. That's Disney for you. They have no problem catering and doing very underhanded and devious and outright freaking evil things to people to get what they want. That's why I compare them to Weyland-Yutani. Everybody knows who Weyland-Yutani is if you're a fan of the Alien franchise, which I believe is also 20th Century Fox. Possibly a coincidence. But anyway, Weyland-Yutani, yeah, they're the corporation in the Alien franchise that is willing to do anything and everything to silence dissent, even if it means killing people. They were willing to kill Ripley because she came out against what Weyland-Yutani was doing in Aliens. But they were also going to put an alien inside of her so that they could study it. That would have killed her. They were willing to kill a child in that movie. I mean, now, am I saying that Disney's willing to kill people? Honestly, I can't answer that. I honestly cannot say yes or no. But I will go over other evils that Disney has done using subsidiaries. I mean, we all know about the whole casting of a black Ariel or a person of color Ariel in the new Little Mermaid. Now, that in itself, I could care less. I mean, it's just them doing their whole identity politics, racist pandering that they love to do. But here's the thing, folks. They actually went after the people who did the whole hashtag not my Ariel thing. And they used a subsidiary to do it. A subsidiary. Can you believe that? But yeah, when they used a subsidiary to say, there's black Dutch people and this and that and whatnot, and y'all are just a bunch of racists, ists, and phobes and this and whatnot, they used a subsidiary that can easily be traced through a freaking Wikipedia search, can easily be traced right back to Disney. Because Disney does not have the balls to to address people directly. No, they need to keep their family-friendly image. But wait, they tarnished that image already. You see, I once did a video a while back about how Marvel told a British father who had lost his 4-year-old son named Oliver to a rare disease, sadly, that affects the brain. This kid was a beautiful Spider-Man fan. He got to go to Disney World. He worshipped Spider-Man. And when Disney acquired Marvel, they also got the rights to Spider-Man. And I guarantee you, when this kid, or out of the goodness of their heart, the father asked Marvel, can we put Spider-Man on the grave of my son, on the headstone? Marvel said no. And they gave 3 lies. 3 lies, people. The first lie that they told was, we don't want Spider-Man associated with death. Well, anybody who knows Spider-Man knows he's automatically associated with death. Everybody knows that Uncle Ben was killed by Spider-Man, or not by Spider-Man, sorry. He was killed by a car thief. So yeah, Spider-Man's associated with death. But then they said, well, we want to maintain the innocence of the character of Spider-Man. Are you freaking kidding me? Didn't he, in a comic book, make a deal with the devil himself? I mean, if I remember correctly, Aunt May was dying. And in order for her to be saved, Peter Parker made a deal with Mephisto, also known as Mephistopheles, the devil in Marvel. And so he made the deal, and Aunt May's alive, but it cost his happiness with Mary Jane. Their marriage broke. So that was the second lie that Marvel and Disney told to that grieving father. Then the third lie. Well, we don't do that for people. 2 towns over, a child's grave has Iron Man on it. So what's your next lie, Disney? Oh, wait. 3 strikes, you're out. So yeah, folks, we got Disney basically being judge, jury, and executioner over 20th Century Fox. We have them doing that whole thing with the kid in Britain who died, lying to the parent. And we had them involved in a pedophile ring so far. Not to mention their crazy obsession with sexual preference in movies that are geared for kids. Everybody knows that the MCU is mainly geared for people who were teens to adults and whatnot. But here's the thing, folks. These people who watched the MCU movies like Thor and the first or phases 1 through 3, the Infinity Saga, I was noticing every time I saw a movie there, they brought their kids, children, as young as 4 years old. Well, it is widely reported that Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be focusing on sexual orientation of characters, sexual preference and whatnot, because Valkyrie, who is the quote-unquote king of Asgard, is or needs her queen. First off, let's break that down. Valkyrie's not a king of anything. She is a female. That makes you a queen in monarchical terms. So yeah. So a queen needs her, well, in this other case, queen. She's a lesbian, so she gets another woman. So you're going to have a 2-queened monarchy. Fine. I don't care about the fact that they're gay, folks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-LGBTQ by any measure. I have family members in the LGBTQ community. And I friggin' socialize with them all the time. I go to parties with them. I go to all sorts of outings and whatnot. But here's the thing. When you are focusing on a person's sexual orientation over more than telling the story that kids are going to see, you are automatically placing yourself in an educational role that some parents do not want to expose their kids to. You are saying, well, kids, it's time for you to grow up and embrace the reality that people live different lives. Well, guess what? There's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that parents would like to teach their kids these very important issues. How you doing, Happy Dino? And they would like them to learn at their own pace, but also learn childhood things at child years. Like I said, kids as young as 3 and 4 years old went to all of these MCU movies that I saw in my theater when I was seeing Infinity War, when I saw Captain Marvel, when I saw Endgame, and when I saw Spider-Man Home or Far From Home. They were kids. Now, Far From Home didn't have any sexual crap going on, except for, well, the blatantly sexual innuendo in the movie. But they're discussing it, but Endgame was discussing a guy, all for the sake of pandering. You're absolutely right, Adam. You're absolutely right. Let kids be kids, for F's sake. Absolutely, man. And yes, not everything Disney does is for kids. But here's the thing. When it comes to the movies, and thank you, Happy Dino. But yeah, when it comes to the movies, it's Disney. Parents are going to bring their kids to see this stuff. Now, depending on the parents' outlook, are they going to show movies where kids are, or where there's going to be a man kissing a man or a woman kissing a woman or any of that? I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable taking my kids to a movie where that stuff is happening, because then I have to be put in the awkward position of explaining that sort of thing. Now, not me personally, because believe it or not, I can easily explain that to a kid if I ever have a kid. Because, like I said, I have family who are in the LGBTQ community, and I support their way of life. I support their right to be happy. Yes, just like in The Rise of Soy Walker. And because there was actually, when I saw that movie in theaters, I'm kidding you not, folks, when I saw that movie in theaters and people brought their kids, Mommy, why is that woman kissing a woman? That kid noticed a 2-second scene and chose to ask his parent why that woman is kissing a woman. Boy, did that parent look awkward. She squirmed in her seat. This is not a joke, folks. This actually happened. And the thing is, she then said, some people have different lifestyles. Well, here's the thing. That's a good explanation, but kids being kids, they're going to be curious. They're going to want to know more, just like that McDonald's commercial. Why? And then the kid pulls a freaking thing and says, maybe back then they didn't think you were capable of forming or of having an informed decision or making an informed decision. But yeah, it doesn't need to be shoved everywhere. I mean, show it in movies, but be small about it, like in Star Wars. You had that one kiss, there you go. But also, if you truly pay attention, you got them. But if you really did pay attention to that lesbian kiss in Star Wars, the two women who kissed, if you pay attention to them, the one that everybody knows from episode 8, that was, what's her name's aide, Holdo's aide or whatever, or Leia's aide, she's like, what, in her 50s, 60s? The person she's kissing looks to be in her 20s. I mean, I get that there are different ages and shit, and that love is just, or love doesn't have a number, according to some people who really should rethink that kind of outlook. But the thing is, folks, this wasn't a Jackie Onassis kind of situation here. You just don't have that kind of shit. That woman is 30 years her lover's senior. Old enough to be her parent or her parent. Yeah, old enough to be her parent. Shit, old enough to be her grandparent even. Yet they're smooching on a freaking Star Wars film. I have nothing against the LGBTQ community, folks. Again, I'm going to reiterate that. I have seen, or I have been around them all my life since I was 2 years old. But here's the thing. Be subtle about it, as it has been subtle and open for years. And also, here's another thing that all the people, or the minority of the LGBTQ community, has been talking about. They've been saying, we want more representation in film. We don't have representation in film. I can easily destroy their argument with one fact. The LGBTQ community has been represented in film for over 104 years. Ever since 1916, a movie known as Vingarn, Vingarne, had a lesbian couple in it, or a woman who was gay and wanted to be with another woman, as a guy was pursuing that same woman. But believe it or not, I believe the woman chose the other woman and whatnot. So yeah, LGBTQ community has been represented on film for over 100 years. Literally, they have been represented in entertainment for centuries, because believe it or not, the LGBTQ community has been around for centuries, if not thousands of years. You see, folks, everybody wants representation. They don't realize they already have it based on one fact. And that fact is, we are all human. We are represented because of our collective humanity. And you also are right, Adam, in that one. Sorry I took so long to get to it. But yes, and young kids will be influenced by all of this. You're absolutely right. Kids will be influenced by it. And they are going to ask all the awkward questions, and then they're going to want to experiment and whatnot. They're going to be confused and such. But here's the thing. By having all of these sexually oriented people and whatnot focusing on sexual orientation instead of entertaining everyone, you are doing more harm to children than good. To the point where Brie Larson, Tessa Thompson, and all these other people that want to do all of this LGBTQ representation in film, you are coming across as very pedophilic. Because if you want to indoctrinate kids, because like I said, kids watch the MCU films, they're going to, or families are going to bring their kids to see Thor, Love and Thunder. Their parents are going to take their kids to see movies like Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, where there was that awkward situation in my theater that I didn't really bring up in other people's live streams, because it wasn't really my live stream to bring all that stuff up with. But this is my live stream, so I will. Like I said, have subtlety, sure. Have your representation, fine. But be ready to explain to your kids why a guy is kissing a guy or a woman is kissing a woman, or why they are talking about it. Explain why a guy is identifying as a female or dressing as a female, or a woman is dressing up as a guy or identifying as a guy. Disney is pushing all of this, and I think that they do need to be called out for it. So, small recap. I went over the BBC article where Disney is erasing Fox completely. Their 20th Century Fox is now going to be 20th Century Studios, and Fox Searchlight is just going to be Searchlight and whatnot. So Weyland-Yutani, or Disney in this case, is erasing them, or is erasing something that they deemed is too politically oppositional, because Rupert Murdoch owns Fox, or owned Fox. Well, he now owns the Fox News, which is run by his son Lachlan. But it doesn't matter your politics, folks. That's why people want politics and identity politics out of their entertainment. Stop sacrificing story to push a narrative. But then they recently got caught up in a pedophile ring with that expose from Ricky Garcia, or from Ricky Garcia's mom. For those of you who don't know, Ricky Garcia is part of a boy band. Also, he is Disney talent, but the boy band is called Forever in Your Mind. And while he was a minor, I believe he still is a minor, he was forced to have sexual relations with Hollywood executives and also a Disney employee and the talent relations division. So yeah, Disney got caught up in a pedophile ring, but instead of doing the right thing of reporting it, they actually just moved the woman to a different division, a woman who had raped a child, and they sent her to a different division instead of firing her and turning her into the authorities. You see, folks, when people go to Disney World and watch and consume all of this Disney merchandise and shows and whatnot, and give their money to this corporation, just know that you are giving your money to a corporation that allowed a pedophile to rape a child and did not punish that person. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what Disney says, but I'm not going to drink that Kool-Aid, because that Kool-Aid is stained with the blood of innocence. You see, folks, when it comes to pedophilia, sexual crimes, I am I take those conversations very seriously. And I think that people who prey on children and those who allow children to be preyed on, and when they know about it and do nothing, I think that those people are the lowest scum of the earth. So when you give your money to Disney, I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But just know the facts, that when you give your money to Disney, you are giving your money to a corporation that allowed a woman to rape a child and did not punish her for it. In fact, they rewarded her by sending her to a different division. She didn't get fired, she got transferred. Regardless of whether or not that was them taking action against it, that is still rewarding the person, because you are still giving them a job. And I think that Disney needs to be called on this. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to say all of these things that I have said about Disney's pedophile ring involvement is alleged. Sadly, I have to say that for legal reasons. So yes, allegedly, they knew about it. Allegedly, they did nothing about it except for transfer the pedophile to another division. So yes, I don't want to lose my stream for legal reasons. But I will let you know one thing. There is no reason why a person would lie about that. Unless they were coerced into lying about it. Or unless they had an ulterior motive or some other reasons. So yeah, I'll take back the whole lying thing. There are reasons that people would lie about it. But I do not think for one moment that this kid is lying. That he was sexually assaulted by an adult that was an employee of Disney, allegedly, and that person was not fired or turned over to the authorities. So yeah, if you guys or if people support Disney, hey, I'm not gonna hold it against them, most likely because they are unaware of the fact that Disney has committed such a heinous act. But I will be the first one to tell them flat out, if you guys truly support Disney that much, if you want to take your kids to Disney World, Disneyland, or whatever, just know you are taking your kid to a company or to a theme park that is run by a company that hires and protects pedophiles. Allegedly. But we all know that it's actually true. Anyway, it just irks me so much, folks, that Disney has pulled this nonsense. And I don't know if you guys heard the rumbling in the background, but it does seem that there is a search chopper outside flying around. But that just got me sidetracked for a moment. Sorry about that. But yeah, the many evils of Disney are very numerous. And I'm also going to touch on the true evil of identity politics, which I have touched on in my previous videos on my channel, not on any of my live streams. But one of the most important videos I did was a video that has a thumbnail of 3 actresses who are white, and it says actual racists. It's my stand against Hollywood's racism is the name of the video, but I will give you a summary of it because, well, I'm live. I can do that. Basically, any celebrity, liberal or otherwise, who says that they have white privilege, any person in the world who is white who says that they have white privilege, and I do mean commoner, rich elite, or any of it, any of them who says they have white privilege, congratulations, you are technically a racist. By the second definition of racism, not intolerance, but to place one's self above another based on the color of one's skin. That is the second definition of racism that I was shown in a dictionary years ago. Well, Disney has many actors and actresses working for them who have claimed that they have white privilege, that their privilege has allowed them to have more benefits over people of color in the business and whatnot. Scarlett Johansson, Emma Watson, Brie Larson, congratulations. You all claim to be against racism, yet you commit it every time you even utter the words white privilege, and that you have it. That's what racism is, folks. to place oneself above another based on the color of their skin. That's the second definition of racism that I was introduced to at a young age when I was learning about racism in school. The very first definition I learned was absolute intolerance towards another person's skin color or race. So yeah. And Disney wants to engage in identity politics, where they hire people based on the color of their skin. They're putting that person on a pedestal and saying pay for them based on the color of their skin, or based on their gender or their sexual orientation. Basically, they're putting them on a pedestal and saying pay for them. You know who did that way back in history? Slave owners and slave auctioneers. They all put slaves based on the color of their skin on their label, put them on a pedestal, and they had people bid for them and pay for them and throw money to buy them, to purchase them. That is what Disney is doing and any other Hollywood person and studio and whatnot, when they engage in identity politics. Because you are putting a person on a pedestal based on their label, and you are asking people to pay for not the entertainment, but the label. It's time that people wake up. It's time that people stand against Hollywood's racism and Disney's racism and Disney's many, many evil actions. And I think that those who choose to remain ignorant willfully, or choose to, shall we say, still support it and whatnot. Went to the comic shop and couldn't find one Captain Marvel comic shop. Nice. Hey, then, that's awesome. But yeah, folks, I know I'm kind of going off on tirades and rants and stuff, but this does need to be said, and it does need to be said on a public forum. Disney supports pedophilia. They will lie to people. They will cover up things that are evil, the most heinous of all things. And they will erase icons because of political difference. This country is divided enough, don't you think? I'm old enough to remember a time where people could get along even if they believed in a different political viewpoint. That is sadly few and far between nowadays. I mean, I am friends with my landlady. She is politically opposed to me. I mean, we are politically opposed. The way that we get along, we don't talk politics. Buy a story for an actual story, I can get propaganda for free. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. This statement here, folks, this is something that people should also get in their heads. Because when Hollywood studios pander to people instead of telling a story that everyone can enjoy, you are sacrificing the quality of the story in order to push a narrative. And 2019 showed us several failures in the box office, such as Charlie's Angels and Terminator Dark Fate. Both were box office flops, I believe. And both were heavily introduced into identity politics. I mean, frickin' Terminator Dark Fate actually had a racist line in it towards white people. I can't believe or I wish you both weren't so white. The new leader of humanity, folks. That's the new leader of humanity. I wish you two weren't so white. Yeah. Great movie. That one was, being very sarcastic when I say that. I actually witnessed people walking out of the theater after the first shotgun blast in the beginning of that movie. When T-800 goes up and blasts John Connor in the chest. They actually got up, left, didn't come back. Because they realized that this movie, this continuation to T2, this direct sequel, was a piece of shit film. I had to stay through it so I could review it. And I gave it a fair and honest review. Objectively, the movie was terrible. Subjectively, the movie was absolute garbage. Then you had Charlie's Angels, a movie that I absolutely refused to see on principle because, one, they gender bent Bosley and Charlie both. They made the movie a political activism for abortion. Many of you who know my channel know that I am against abortion in almost every reason, except for the fact if it comes to the life of the mother, if the mother's life is in danger, that is the only reason I think that an abortion is necessary or allowable. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I mean, yeah, or people are going to say, well, what about rape victims and whatnot? They didn't have a choice in this and that. You're right, they didn't. But it doesn't change the fact that you're still ending a life. It's already tragic enough that abortion happens at all. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Moving on. Charlie's Angels basically was a flop because of its identity politics. But yeah, folks, basically, I've said all I really need to say. I wish I had other people show up. I want to thank Happy Dinosaur, Genesis, Superfan Adam Shawhan, and whatnot. I want to thank you all for stopping by. And those who possibly didn't leave a comment, I wish other people would have joined me in this stream, but unfortunately other people weren't, just had other stuff to do, I guess. But hey, that's awesome. We all do what we got to do to get our messages out. Anyway, folks, that's going to be all for tonight. I have said what I need to say, and let's just hope that this video reaches everybody else out there. Don't forget to share this video, peeps. If you can, please share this video. Get it out there. That is the one thing I do ask, is that you share this video. Because people need to know the truth, that Disney and all of what Disney has done in the case of their actions. Thanks, Happy. But, oh yeah, wait, I did forget to touch on the one thing about the investigation into Disney for revenue inflation, alleged revenue inflation. Where they've been doubling up their money in certain areas. I mean, that's just another evil. I mean, I actually did a video on that earlier last year. From what I understand, they're still investigating, and they actually officially opened that investigation into Disney. So Disney might lose billions for it. So that's always good. The more Disney suffers, the happier I'll be. I mean, I know that one man cannot topple a giant such as Disney. But the fandom menace is acknowledged by Disney. And for that, they know that we are going to expose them for exactly what they are. And they are evil. I don't use that word loosely, folks. I use that word specifically. They are evil. For the things that they have allowed to have happen in their country or in their company, allegedly, for the things that they have done to people who are their fans, to the things that they have done, period, they are evil. And I hope that people will one day wake up to that very important fact, that when you give money to Disney, you are giving money to a corporation that has done heinous things to children, that has taken their innocence and have done far worse. Anyway, folks, that is the video. Again, thank you to all who attended in the chat. You all are very amazing and beautiful people, which is Odin's line, but still doesn't change the fact that you all are amazing and beautiful people. And I want to thank you all for the support that you have shown my channel. The ice walk that I have planned for the 300 subscriber milestone video is still happening. When my brother actually comes up, he's going to take me out onto the ice so I could do that video for y'all. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. I'll be talking about my very first ice fishing experience from when me and my brother and our other brother were kids. And it'll be a fun little video for y'all. Anyway, folks, y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. And this has been Orange Hat Reviews. And I'll catch y'all on the next video.